Hi everybody, today I want to talk about what you need to do before you get your next flight simulator, what you need to avoid, and the specific things that you need to look for when you're finding the next game for you. And finding the actual best flight simulator for your needs is very different for each different person. So what I want to do in this short video is go over a few of the most important things that you need to look for before you buy a game or before you install even a free version. Here's the problem that I found. Most flight simulators are really bad overall, and they're bad at a lot of different things. What I've seen is that it's hard to find a great flight simulator for home use, especially if you don't want to spend thousands of dollars in some super fancy flight simulator. And the major problems that I've seen are that most flight simulators out there are very unrealistic with their flight dynamics and the cockpits. It doesn't even feel like you're flying a plane. You can definitely tell that you're playing a piece of software, and I realize that it's hard to have anything that's completely realistic, and I know it's a game, but at the same time, I want it to be as realistic as possible, and most games just don't even come close. A lot of the games out there are really clunky, and they really slow your computer down to molasses. It really feels like you almost need another computer just to play the game, which has pissed me off more than once. Another thing is that a lot of games have horrible graphics, and the scenery is really a joke. So what you need to look for is that the game focuses specifically on having realistic graphics, realistic scenery, realistic airports and aircrafts, but also that all of these graphics aren't going to slow the rendering, the processing of your computer down, so that the gameplay has a lot of lag. You don't want that. Another thing you want to look for in games is that there's support for instrument flying, and what I found is that a lot of games don't have support for anything that's instrument rated, and I know a lot of people are training for instrument rating, or they want to just refine their skills and practice when they can't get to the airport. So you need a game that actually has support for the instrument rated pilots. Another thing is something that I mentioned before. You need to have realistic airports and an updated version of the airports that are out there, an updated database, and that's constantly changing. So a few games out there do this. Here are things that you need to look for. You need to have, you want something that real pilots will use for real training, and if you can find something that's FAA certified, that's usually a bonus. And again, like we talked about, you want to have realistic flight dynamics, graphics, etc., real airports, something that has support for instrument-rated pilots, and free updates is another huge thing. You don't want to have to keep paying for updates, and a lot of the best games out there will update regularly, so you want to make sure that the game that you're looking at has updates, but they're also free. And then another thing is you need compatibility with your operating system. If you're on a Mac like I am, it's hard to find a game that works with your computer. I know a lot of games are made only for PCs, and if you don't want to run Parallels on your computer, it's good to look for a game that is compatible. So whether you're on a PC or Mac, whatever you're on, you need something that works with your operating system. And finally, you want something that's inexpensive but not cheap. And if you want a free game, that's fine. There's a few good games out there, but from what I've seen, they're not. I would rather just spend a little bit of money on a game and have something that I'm going to actually play. And along those same lines, you're not going to usually get a great game for $20. It's better to spend a little bit more on the game because the realism and the actual value of the game is going to last longer. And I haven't found anything that's super cheap, like $20 or less or $30 or less, that has really fulfilled my needs as in a flight simulator. So here's what I recommend. In the description of this video, I put two of my favorite flight simulators, the flight simulators that I think are the best, and these are always changing because different games come out on the market, so I'm going to try to update this as much as I can. And as I learn about new products and I try out different things, I'll add them here. But if you want to, just click on the description below. You can expand the description and read more about what I think about some of the games out there. Thanks. Bye-bye.